Hello. Spicy. Hey guys, what's up? Thank you so much for joining me today. This is Philosophy. Today's video is all about my spending in my 20s. So I'm going to be going through the things that I regret buying in my 20s. Let's jump in. The first thing on this list is cheap furniture. And I think that this is really common. I've seen a few other videos like this, and cheap furniture is almost always on that list. So I have a habit of buying kind of cheap couches mainly, where I'll just go into a bunch of stores or check online and try to get like the cheapest couch. And yeah, a lot of the times they not only do they don't last, but they're really not comfortable pretty much right out of the gate. So I fully regret spending even a dime on cheap furniture. The second thing that I regret buying in my 20s kind of goes hand in hand with cheap furniture, and that is cheap clothing. This also includes fashion that I don't actually enjoy. So I do watch a lot of YouTube videos about thrifting hauls and different kinds of fashion, and it really sparks my interest in going out and trying to find items that are similar. A lot of the times I end up purchasing items that maybe aren't in the best shape, aren't the best quality to begin with, or they're just flat out things that I don't actually like and I don't reach for in my closet. So they end up kind of just sitting there collecting dust, and it ends up being money not well spent. So I highly recommend not spending money on cheap clothing. It's a lot better to also buy things that are going to not only stand the test of time, but be basics and be things that you can pair with a lot of other things. I've really been trying to build my basic wardrobe up so that I could have something similar to a capsule wardrobe where everything would go with the other thing. So everything in my closet would be able to be paired together. This is something that's taken a lot of discipline, a lot of research, and a lot of self-reflection. Because a lot of the time I just get excited by bold prints and colors, and I'm really drawn to buying those things where I'm not necessarily drawn to basics or basic kind of plain colors. And I really want to build on that because I think people who dress that way look a lot more polished, put together, and expensive. And finding pieces that are really good quality, definitely worth it. My third purchase regret in my 20s was one single stock. So I bought a single stock. I bought 5,000 shares of one stock last year, and it ended up doing really well in the beginning. It went up to, I think it was like $1.62 a share, and I had bought my shares at 86 cents a share. So I was doing pretty good. I was making some money, and then some news came out about the company, and it just basically crashed, bottomed out, and now the share is worth, I think, 30 cents a share. So I'm down quite a bit. I definitely regret this. If I could go back in time, I would probably purchase a little bit. I originally had bought, I think, 1,000 shares at 24 cents a share, and I could have just kept it as it was, but as the stock started to climb, I started to feel like, ooh, I better jump on this again, and I bought 4,000 shares. And if I could go back, I would not do that. And I don't recommend buying single stocks really ever, unless it's something like Google or Amazon. But even then, look what's going on with Facebook, Meta right now. Any stock can crash at any point in time. If you can't afford to lose that money, never buy a single stock. The fourth thing that I regret purchasing in my 20s is alcohol. So I don't necessarily regret purchasing alcohol for drinking at home or house parties or going out and having drinks on the town. This is more about purchasing alcohol alongside a meal. And I don't really like alcohol. I don't like the taste of alcohol, and I really don't like it while I'm eating. I think I mentioned this in my last video where I went through my 2021 expenses. I just felt pressured to order a drink every time I had a meal out at a restaurant for no particular reason. But I definitely regret every dime that I spent on purchasing alcohol when I didn't really want it. The fifth item on this list is eating out at shitty restaurants or ordering shitty food from shitty takeout places. This is one of my biggest pet peeves, is spending money on food, takeout food in a restaurant where it's actually kind of expensive, but it's garbage food. Like I could have made something 10 times better at home for like a tenth of the price. I get so angry when I waste money on food like this, and I regret every single time where the meal wasn't good. I am now obsessed with looking up reviews and reading through the most recent ones, making sure that the restaurant is actually decent quality before I spend my hard-earned money there. Sixth thing on this list is rent. I wish that I had purchased property earlier and stopped wasting money on rent earlier in my 20s, because I did have the money to purchase. I just kind of pushed it off because I wasn't really sure if it was the right move for me. And this isn't the right move for everybody. Rent isn't always wasted money, despite what the boomer generation wants you to believe. If you plan on moving around a lot, owning probably isn't for you. If you're gonna be in one area for like 5 years minimum, maybe that's a good idea. And I have been in Calgary for I think 7 years now, so I do kind of wish that I purchased property a few years ago instead of just last year, because then I could have built my equity up and not padded someone else's pockets. The seventh and last item on this list is pretty much anything random, any small useless item, any kind of trinket or souvenir that really served absolutely no purpose. I will just call this the junk category. Something that you just purchase because it's on sale, because it looks cute, something that you're not really going to use, but you just want it because you're there and you want to spend money, and why not? Certain kitchen items that you use maybe once and then it sits in a drawer for forever, totally not worth the money. Any kind of silly home decor that I didn't need, or makeup that I bought that I really didn't need because I really don't use anything out of a very small amount, and just kind of jumping on the bandwagon of buying a bunch of cool, nice makeup. Wasted a lot of money there. So those were the 7 items that I regret buying in my 20s. Leave me a comment below about the things that you regret purchasing in your 20s, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.